welcome to today's live podcast interview with Valarie Thomas. We're going to go deep into how to grow and glow, how to scale your impact online in the world of social media and beyond. And welcome to my podcast. My name is Luke Lintott, and I coach seekers of healing to get healthy and loved. And I'm joined today by the amazing Valarie Thomas. Valarie and I actually work together, and I'm going to start recording right now too. Welcome to the podcast. Valarie and I actually worked together back in the day in 2021, and we met each other here on Facebook, and we hit it off when we met each other. We have both worked in education. We're both Aquarius, but also we're both entrepreneurs. And Valarie has helped me astronomically with the great work that I do online in social media. And we've helped each other. We're going to talk more about that. And Valarie has this gift in social media of helping health and wellness entrepreneurs, practitioners, leaders grow and scale their impact through authentically sharing who they are and offering their services to the world. So thank you so much, Valarie, today for joining us for the live podcast interview. And I'd love to just hand the reins off to you to share more about yourself, your path, your journey, and you're joining us live from Augusta, Georgia. So thank you for joining us all the way from across from the South. Hello.
Hello. Yes, thank you so much. I'm a social media strategist, and I help businesses find their ideal audience on social media. A lot of people want to do social media, but they don't know quite what to do. So they tell me their goals, and I help them reach those goals through social media. And I absolutely love it. And I absolutely love you, Luke, so much. You motivate me so much. He checks on me all the time. He's always messaging me. He's tagging me in posts. He's reminding me about reels, because sometimes I forget like what I know and how I can help people. And I'm like, I don't feel as impactful. And he'll be like, Valarie inspired me to do this. And he never like forgets about me. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I totally received that. And I know in my own journey, when I first met Valarie, it was actually in our own coaching program. Like we had these big group meetings, and I knew from your energy, you were just a wonderful, beautiful person. But then also online, you're so vibrant. I love your videos. Also, your content you're posting going to Curacao. You post videos, pictures with your family, since personal is professional. You also post things that help entrepreneurs that desire to scale their impact, their income, and beyond, and authentically. And I really love that about you. And I loved what you mentioned to me about the things that you trained me and coached me about putting yourself out there in the reels. And so I just love to hear more about any words of wisdom that you have for people out there that are business owners, health and wellness industry, that desire to become more visible and step into the arena with us. What are some words of wisdom that you have?
Yes. So people yearn to see your eyes, your smile, everything. They want to know that you're human. They want to see behind the scenes. They want to see you speaking. That draws people closer to you, than even more so than a static post. Static posts are okay, but reels and TikTok, they really make people feel like, okay, I feel like I know this person. And then they want to know more. And then you start to build that know, like, and trust. It's like nothing like video that can help you embrace the people you want to embrace. So if that's something that you want to do, you should definitely try it. Get started. And you don't have to have the best equipment. You don't have to have the newest camera. Just do it. Like some of the biggest people I follow, they just using whatever camera phone they have, and it doesn't matter. Like people just love you showing up and being authentic. That's the big part.
I so agree. And I know before I worked with you, Valarie, I would kind of play small, and I would just post things on Facebook. And then sometimes I would just get a couple of views and be like, oh, it's me. Right. And then you taught me the whole thing of kind of doing things in multiple formats, right, in different places, not just one, because you don't know where your soulmate client or even your soulmate is going to find you, right? Because a lot of people now, we are sliding into DMs, right? If you are attracting love, I have met people online organically, not even on the apps, okay? And so I'm just curious, like if you could speak more about the value of kind of hitting different arenas, since, you know, and what that means for, especially for health and wellness people that might just be in some sense playing it small, even though they're not aware of it.
Yes. I recommend you try everything. TikTok, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels. I have a client who is doing so amazing on Facebook Reels. I was like, Facebook, like, I don't know what it is, but
What,
her
right?
Facebook Reels are like, and it's just on her business page. She's posting 5 days a week. She's consistent. She's showing up, but people are really like, she had a video go viral with like 90,000 views. And I was like, why am I getting all of these? Why am I getting all of these notifications on my phone? And it's something I never thought that would happen, but because she tried not just Instagram, she also tried Facebook. And then we're going to move over to TikTok to see if her audience is there too. And another thing is, one video may do really well on one platform, and you could post that same video to another platform and it might not do well. So don't be discouraged. Keep trying that same video in other places because it might blow up. Sometimes they suppress your video. Sometimes they might stop it at a certain number of views. You just never know what it is. Just keep trying. And then maybe post that video again in a few months, but definitely try and find where your sweet spot is. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to do all the things, but definitely try different platforms and see where you should be.
I so agree. I know when I started posting in multiple formats after meeting with you, I noticed that like sometimes I get 5 views on Facebook and literally 2,000 on Instagram or vice versa. And like you said, there's some certain numbers where I do think that they may be blocking us, like on TikTok where it might hit like 62 or something. It's some weird number.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think like the thing I've really noticed is that you just don't know, right, what's going to go viral. And I just wanted to ask you more about that because I think we are in this culture of like virality and wanting things to go viral, wanting likes, wanting views, sometimes not realizing that a video with 2 views can get actually higher quality clients, lovers, whatever you're looking for, than one that has 2,000 views, right? That might just be the people that are looking for whatever's going viral. So I'd just love to hear more about that from you in terms of like having that authentic impact too.
Yes. Sometimes those vanity matrices make us feel either great or bad. And it should not really determine how you feel. Yes, it's good to track those things, but like some of my biggest clients never even communicated with me on social media. I'm like, where did you come from? They've been watching, but they might not say anything, right? And so,
Right.
yeah, so you never know. And they just, like you said, slide in your DM and say, hey, can I work with you? Or can I know more about your services? So it's sometimes not the video where you're doing the most trendy things, using the most trending sounds. Sometimes it's just you talking to people, and not a lot of people might stop for that, but the person who needs you may stop and watch that video and take note of it. And so you just keep trying. Don't let those numbers discourage you. And I know that's hard to say if you only get like, oh man, I'm only getting 200 views or whatever. That's a big audience. Think about standing in a room in front of 200
Yeah.
people or 100. That's a big audience. And sometimes we don't really see that. We're like, man, I only got like 300 views. That's awesome. It's about converting. That's what we want. We want conversion. So those numbers are great or not so great, but it's the conversion that we're looking for.
Absolutely. And I know in being very visible online, it has the positives where it's like you never know if like Lululemon or some company or celebrity is going to come and work with you. Like literally, I've had crazy things happen. I was just talking with my coach the other day about it that I would have never have thought happened just because I've been consistent at posting, right? Just like what you were telling me when we first met, like every single week you'll see me, I post at least one video, right? At least one reel, okay? And I started, like you said, doing the Facebook Reels and using the format in each social media platform because I noticed that when you use their platform, they like it and they want it to go viral. But if I bring in a copied version from TikTok with the logo, they suppress it, right? Because it seems like they're all in competition or something's going on. But in that vein of thought, I'm just curious about that whole issue of visibility. Of course, if you could talk more about the positives, like you are going to attract your soulmate when when you are authentic and real to who you are, whether it's love or otherwise, you are also going to repel people that don't like who you are, and I'll be upfront. This happened to me a couple of months ago, Valarie, where I went on one of those dates, right? And that date actually, I'm assuming the person Googled me, but they ended up like unmatching this and that and the other, because instead of just the picture, they saw who I was and they're like, we're just not a good match. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I've had people unfriend, unfollow, and block too. And I've had to really grow and be comfortable with loving those people away. And I'm curious to know, like, any words of wisdom you have for people that are struggling to be okay with the rejection that you get when you are visible and you are real and raw.
Yes, and I'm just now coming to like that place where I'm like, okay, everybody doesn't have to like me. Everybody doesn't have to, I don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. It's so important. Like you said, you want to repel the people that are not for you. You do not want that client that is going to drive you crazy. Y'all don't match, and now you're stuck in a contract with them. You don't want that. And you want to be clear in your messaging so people know, hey, this is who I work with. This is how I work with them. This is so when you're on your reel, showing your personality so they know, hey, this is who I am. Maybe you're like super kind and friendly and even tone, or maybe you're a coach that's very like, hey, I'm going to give it to you straight like it is, and it's not going to feel good. Like maybe you got to show people who you are so that they don't get something totally different when they're working with you. And you also have to know what's for you. You have to maybe tell a client like, yeah, we can't work together anymore. Or you might have to tell somebody in the beginning, like, I don't think we should go into a business thing together. So, and it's okay. And it's something to get used to. It's something I'm still getting used to because I'm like, oh, man, I got that people pleasing thing that I'm working on with my therapist, but it's a good thing to repel who you don't need in your life, in your business, and to attract who you do need. So that's absolutely right.
Definitely. And I noticed that the more real that I am, the more, like you're saying, quality people I'm getting. Like I'm getting people that I feel like I've literally known for years, right? Like you said, because they may have been silently watching behind the scenes. And yes, they may be new people, but yes, they may also be people that I knew when I was in 7th grade, right? That I've just been Facebook friends for a long time and they've seen me grow through that time. And so I'm just wondering more about the people out there that are wondering, they want to do this, but they're worried about engaging authentically too. So I think of this saying when I engage with people online, it's kind of like I say what I mean what I say, but I've translated that into how I type on a comment, right? And I'm okay now typing a comment that's just like, hey, I'm tapping into my inner diva. I literally wrote that yesterday. Whereas I think 3 years ago, I would have wanted it to be mainstream and vanilla ice cream. And now I'm like, well, this is what I would say to you. So I'm going to say this to everyone. Everyone's going to see it. And I've really become comfortable in my inner voice guiding me rather than the dialogue of whoever it is that I might be speaking with. And so I just wanted to hear more about, for people that are struggling to find their real, true, raw self, especially in the comments and the DMs, what has helped you bridge that gap and being visible?
Working with you, um, just on my spiritual journey and just becoming comfortable with my skin and my trials and tribulations is kind of bringing me to this place where I know my best life is going to come from me being authentic and making sure that I'm authentic in no matter where I am, no matter who I'm with, whether it's in the comments, like you said, whether it's in a face-to-face situation, no matter what, and embracing that. And that's very scary because we have been taught to kind of have this mask or be a chameleon when we are in different situations. But it's your authenticity that's really going to set you free and that's going to take you to the next level. And I recommend therapy to people in business, anybody but business. I didn't know this. I was listening to Angela Yee's. She has a radio show and it's called All the Way Up. And she was talking about, or someone on her show was talking about the numbers of suicides. It's so high among entrepreneurs. And I was like,
Oh
okay,
no.
I get that. I could see that. It's stressful. It's like ups and downs, and it's a lot. So we need to make sure our spiritual and mental health is together. And so all of that, that's a constant thing that I'm working on, that I'm trying to get better on, that I struggle with. So that's something that I'm always working on, building my authenticity in so many different arenas, always showing up as Valarie. So I recommend that everybody's always working on their spirituality. However, you can afford that or get that, make sure that you're tapping into that, because that is going to keep you when things go south in your business or things don't feel well in your business. So, and relationships too. Yep.
I hear you. I know for me, it's about doing my Joe Dispenza meditation for 35 minutes at night. And then in the morning, I start my day with Deepak Chopra. And I really, I do a lot of question asking to myself. Like I'll have questions with myself about what I'm going to do, as opposed to before, I would kind of mirror what I saw. Like if I would see, Malcolm Harris, I love you, Malcolm. If you're watching this, I love all these other people I'm following that are out there, but I'm like realizing that we are, it's about finding our own voice and not necessarily just echoing what everyone else is doing. And so, and that's why I really love when I watch your videos, Valarie, because they are unique. They are funny. Like I love how you use music and things of that nature and like comedy. So I just wanted to hear more, like, how do you authentically engage with people in the great work that you do in social media strategy?
I think for me, sometimes I'll do trending videos and kind of make it to my niche, but I like to do what I like. I'm like, does this feel good to me? This song really feels good to me. I want to use this song. This vibe feels really good to me. I want to use this. I want to film this today. My kids are doing this. I want to, I'm learning to tap into my body, like, and what my body feels is right. That's what I'm learning to do. And it's something really new for me because I have ignored my body and what my body feels. And it has always led me astray when I do that. So I'm trying to tap in and I'm really trying to do what feels good to me. And that's just the best thing to do. And like you said, kind of asking yourself, what am I going to do in this situation, making plans. And I think in the past, I let a lot of stuff happen for me or to me. And now I'm kind of making plans and it being intentional with what I'm doing and really thinking about where I want to go. So those are the big things.
That's beautiful. Intentionality is key. And with that in mind, for people out there that are desiring to go to the next level in terms of social media and their business, like, could you just walk us through what it looks like to work with Valarie Thomas with your social media agency?
Yes. So there's two ways to work with me. You could either go all in, where my agency handles your posting, your copywriting, your strategy, everything on the platforms that we find that are best for you. We handle everything, graphics if you need them, or you send me your pictures, whatever. We handle all of that. So that's one way to work with me. And then the other way to work with me is if you're like, I need coaching on, I don't know, how to put text in reels, like the very basic parts of reels. I have a lot of people come to me, how do you make the word switch I can help you with that. I can help you if you already know how to do reels, but you want some strategy. This is what, like, you don't know where to get your content from or where to go with it. I can help you with that also. And then the way to work with me is bit.ly/book with Val, VAL, and all lowercase. And you can book a call with me and figure out, okay, I don't know exactly what I need, but I know I need social media. And then I could talk you through it on a quick free 15-minute call.
That is so dope, y'all. So take advantage and follow Valarie. We're going to keep talking, by the way, but I just wanted to emphasize that seeing what you do has been a great inspiration for me. And then me also meeting with you and me having that accountability and that advice and that guidance. Okay. So I highly recommend you, Valarie. The next thing I wanted to talk about is really, of course, there's being your authentic self, but then there's showing skin, there's being sexy, there's being you, right? And sex sells, right? And also being you sells. Like, I don't want to just say it's just sex, but I wanted to talk more about this time that we're entering, where it is really more, you tend to get more views if you are in some sense flirtatious with your audience, sometimes with certain people. And I wanted to talk more about that and your experience with clients going down that route and being like genuine to who they are in spite of other people out there going to be judging no matter what. Like, what are your thoughts on that topic?
I think with me personally, like even my recent photo shoots, like I show my shoulders, I'm like showing a little, this because that's who I am becoming and that's genuine to me. I wouldn't do it if you don't feel comfortable, if that's not where you are in your life, if that's not where you want to go, but that's where I'm going. And that's how I go when I go out. I have my shoulders out, I'm looking beautiful, like I'm feeling beautiful, and that's what feels beautiful to me. And as far as people saying anything, like I'm getting, this is something I'm working on too, is this is my life and this is what feels good to me. And I can't, they're not paying my bills, so I can't really worry about that. So
Oh,
you have to do what feels good to you. And if that's who you want to be it. If you're feeling like, no, that's not me, I don't want to be this sexy, whatever, that's not me, then don't do it. You have to, like we said, be authentic. If that's not authentic for you, you're going to look like it's not authentic. You're going to look really uncomfortable when you're doing it. So definitely be who you are. Like, and if that's your sexier side, then be that. That's where I am right now.
I'm right there with you. See me showing
I
all
see
my
you.
body.
I see
So I've been having fun
you.
with that. And then also just posting dance videos. I used to actually stop myself, not just from posting dance videos, but even from dancing, right? When I was in middle school, I tried to be cool, like in where I grew up, and that meant all the boys sat in the back and didn't dance. Not anymore, right? I've really tapped into my authenticity, my gift of dancing and all that I'm doing. And on that vein, I just wanted to touch upon, and I work with some celebrity clients who sometimes have this great image online and they're very flirtatious, doing all these great things, da da da. But then behind the camera, it's a whole different story, a whole different identity. Sometimes we have split personalities. Sometimes you do see that with Geminis, and astrology. And you don't even gotta be a Gemini to have a split personality. But I wanted to talk more about that because my whole idea is that I desire that my life offline is better than my life online, right? So when I'm not posting, I'm out. That's because I'm out there having fun as well. But I'm curious, like for people that are like, I want to be real, but really I'm not feeling it. I'm wondering like how can they bridge that gap and show a little bit of realness, even sometimes if it isn't all just smiles and happiness, right? Like what are some ways people can bridge that gap and still be authentic to themselves? Because we don't want that fake image to make, like you said, cause suicide, cause depression, which we've seen with a lot of highly successful people, especially online. Like
Yeah.
what's any advice?
I think being real brings you closer to your ideal client. Like, especially if you can tell it from a point where, hey, this is what I used to deal with, and now I'm here. And this is how I got here. I think if you show them that it wasn't always, I just didn't come out the womb making six figures or whatever it is. Okay. Like my house is sometimes messy because these kids, whatever it is, just show them the reality of where you are, especially if you can sell it from a point where, look, I made it to where I need to be. Or you could sometimes say, hey, color me Courtney. I love her. She's so cute and beautiful. She's so successful. I saw her at Blog Her years ago. She's doing wonderful things, amazing things, but she showed a video of her crying, like, and she was saying in the mirror, like, I am not creative. Like, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an imposter. And we're looking like, girl, why you have all these brand
Wow.
deals, but it's real and we all feel it. And she showed us that. And she, so things like that make people feel like, man, you're human, I'm human, it's okay. Like I don't always have to have it together. So I think you can always show that as well. Just be real, but you do need to sit down and set boundaries. This is what I'm willing to show first. And sometimes there are things that you don't want to show. I know I have friends that don't show their kids at all online. So you got to kind of decide, what do I want to show? What am I comfortable with too? Again, being authentic and true to yourself and true to what does your body feel? Do you feel like this isn't right? I shouldn't be posting this, then go with that. Follow your gut on what to do.
Yes, I love what you mentioned, like following your gut. I think and doing the inner and outer work, of course, is part of that. And I know it's been about having boundaries, right? Sometimes when I, even for myself, right? Like when I'm meeting someone from a long time in the past, or someone who is not aligned with who I'm becoming, like you said, knowing that we can share ourselves beautifully here online, but that doesn't mean that we even have to share everything like that in real life, right? We can still have boundaries with people, even if they are the silent watchers, which sometimes the silent watchers are even the ones that have unfollowed, right? And they're out there trolling, right? And I
Uh-huh.
used to let those people control what I would post, right? And now I've gotten more comfortable with myself, and I really always tell myself done is better than perfect, right? Like even in this live, I'm sure that there may be something that I say that might not be exactly what I meant, right? Because it's like, this is raw, this is unedited, but I'm still showing up live, and every week I get 1% better. Okay, I've been doing these live interviews now and live for 3 years, right? And so it doesn't happen overnight. But I'm just curious for people out there that are struggling with boundaries. They're like, I want to go live and I want to be like you, Valarie, and I want to do all these videos, but then I'm opening up myself to one of the trolls, like one of the people that might try and tear me down, use this against me, and that affects me. Like, how do you keep doing what you do, and have great boundaries?
I think it's important to know that they are going to come. The higher you get and the next level you get to, the more are going to come. And you have to decide, am I going to let these people run my life? Am I going to let them keep me from the next level? Does Beyonce have trolls? Okay. Does she not have people who say she can't sing? Does she let that stop her? No, we can't let, like, anybody at any level is going to have these people trying to tear you down. And for whatever reason, maybe they're unhappy, I don't know. But you have to keep going. We've all had that moment in our comments or whatever, and it's like it feels horrible and you might want to stop and you're like down for a day or so, whatever. You have to keep going. I block them, delete what they said, and keep going. I do it for my clients. Whenever somebody comes for my clients, I take it personal, but I block them. And, sometimes I ask my client, how do you want to handle this? But most of the time I just block them, like, no, we're not doing this, because why? Like, so you can't let them, and I don't want them to get in my clients' heads either. So those people aren't doing what you're doing. They're not brave enough to do what you do, and you got to keep going. They would never. So keep going.
That's so great, Valarie. So I used to spend most of my energy on those types of people, trying to help them understand. And I've come to realize that my energy is better spent personally on people that are desiring to get
Yeah.
to from the towers to the stars, right? There are people out there that work with people in the devil state, right? That are struggling and don't want to change right now. I'm definitely not that type of consultant, right? And I don't know about you, but you're working with these people that are going to the next level, right? So we have to really, I 100% agree. I really ask myself, like, how can I scale my gifts, right? And so we really, it's so great. And I love what you mentioned earlier, like working with someone and also doing the inner work. The therapy is key, as you are going to confront more and more of these, as I have also noticed, right? I'm getting more and more people that are loving what I'm doing. I am getting some others that kind of troll me. I've even had people make negative comments about my body. And right after that happened, I clicked block, delete. And I was like,
Mhm.
goodbye. And a blocking is a blessing. And I do want to also explain, I believe that we do need to have difficult conversations with people, and that there is a time and place for that, because we are in such a divisive time in our society's history. But there's also, you also have to have a sense of love, right? A love of self. And there's actually a saying that if you are a people pleaser to the max, you'll actually dislike yourself in order
Mhm.
to please other people, right? So you'll
Yeah.
water down who you are in
Mhm.
order to make that person happy, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to make people happy. Valarie and I are always making people happy with our videos and we're posting. But I just wanted to emphasize that if you feel like you're changing your identity to make someone else feel comfortable, you're actually sacrificing yourself. And I wanted love to hear more about that strategy that you have when you work with your clients about getting them into the arena, and like what it looks like when they have someone to, in some sense, kind of hold their hand, and make sure that they keep going, even when the trolls come lurking.
I work with some of the most brilliant minds. I work with doctors, doulas, just people who put people's lives, they are in charge of people's lives, and they're brilliant. They're like scientists, they're always thinking, but they like don't necessarily know how to do reels, or they don't know which ones are going to work or how to do it, whatever. And, I am there to help you get to that point where you're comfortable with creating reels and letting you know, okay, you're on the right track. Let's do this differently or whatever it may be. Right. And I'm also there when you're like, okay, why did this person say this? And letting you know, hey, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. We are not going to let this person stop us. You did all this work. Look at all these people saying these positive things. Don't forget about the people who need you. There are people who are saying you're making a difference with your videos. So we are not going to let this one or two people, these trolls, bring us down. We're not going to do that. So I'm also there at that aspect too, teaching them technical stuff about reels, but also, hey, you're doing great. Keep it up. Like I'm there encouraging them as well.
I absolutely love that, like having you're there to encourage people. And I think that that's what's so great now is that we are really rooting for each other and supporting each other. And that's why I always love commenting on your posts. And with that in mind, of course, comment, like, post any questions you have below and we will answer them. But yeah, I'd love to hear more, of course, about your journey. I think I mentioned earlier, we were both in education, working with the youth, but I'd love to know, like, what brought you to this great work in social media and strategy and all that?
Um, I loved Pinterest. That's how it started. I was addicted to Pinterest. And then I think I saw an ad that said, you want to make money posting for people on Pinterest. I was like, okay. So I took a coaching course and I learned to do Pinterest for other people. So business coaches, health and wellness coaches. And I started in that arena. And then somebody was like, you think you could do Instagram for me? I was like, let me see. And then I got good at that. And then, it just blossomed from there. But yeah, I am a teacher. I do teach history. I absolutely love history. But social media is a love of mine also. And I love helping get people to the doctors, the coaches, the trainers, whoever that they need to get to. And a lot of times we're like, we don't know who to turn to. We just go to who our insurance company offers. Well, there are more options out there. And it's so awesome when you can see your therapist, or maybe they have a side coaching business. You can see their personalities. You can see what it's kind of be like if you're in a session with them. You know who you're working with because you've seen a real video. So I love helping people do that. And it's not always intuitive to them. So that's where I come in to help people get to that point where they're comfortable with turning on the camera and making a reel. And like you said, it doesn't have to be perfection. Just talk or whatever. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. And your light kind of shines through when you're not nervous and you're like, oh no, the camera's on. You just feel really comfortable the more you do it. So
That's so beautiful. And I know for me, it used to be that I would make these videos that were like really kind of like just too long, if that makes sense. And don't get me wrong, this podcast interview, there's a lot of people that are driving and listening to this. And there's people right now, they're going to listen to the whole 60 minutes. But I realized that I actually looked at the statistics on my videos from like a year ago, and the average person watched the video for 8 seconds. And I realized like, oh, I need to be quick. Okay. Because people are scrolling, and there's
people
actually
got
been
short
research. Yeah, there's research showing there's like 2023 attention span versus 2020. And 2020, you had 16 seconds. Now you only get like 8 or maybe 10. And maybe it's 30 seconds. Okay. And I was just curious, like what are some tips and tricks that you offer to your clients in terms of like catching people's attention for having that impact, of course, with the health field and beyond?
If you could have a hook, like something you say right away that catches them, or even in your graphic, that's like while they're scrolling, they're like, oh, wait, she's talking about me. Don't be afraid to touch on those like things that like are kind of like pain points, like, oh, yeah, I'm struggling with that. Like catch their attention, like I'm struggling with that and I want help with that. You know what your clients are really coming to you with all the time. Touch on that. And then I like quick affirmations. Say something quick, just a quick affirmation to help them start their day, or just a quick tip to help them start their day. Or if you did a post where you had like a really good mic drop moment and everybody was like, okay, commenting, and they loved that, what you said, say those things just quickly. And like you said, 8 seconds, but then you also have your longer videos as well, because those are the videos that are going to kind of pull people in and say they're going to click follow, and they're going to look at what else you do, and they're going to want to see those longer videos. So yes, I would do a lot of those short videos, but also pepper in your longer videos.
Wonderful advice. Write that down, y'all, if you are doing this. And then number two, I'm curious about, like, we're in this era of artificial intelligence where we can actually have, and this is actually different from when I met you a year ago, where you can actually ask our AI, for those of you that don't know, to write you a post, to write an email, whatever it is. And so you're noticing sometimes I've noticed this, at least with some people's things, that they're just kind of, like I said, vanilla ice cream, and maybe they had AI write it, maybe they didn't, right? And I'm curious, like, when someone works with you, taps into their authentic voice, works with you and gets motivation, how is that different than just, oh, I'm going to Google this, or I'm going to pay $12 a month for AI subscription and have my AI write my emails? Like, what's different about working with you?
So working with me, I really get to hear your voice. I get to hear what you're saying. I'm writing down when we do a Zoom call, how you say things, what's important to you, like how you sound your messaging. And then I mirror that with what I create for you. Chat GPT or whatever it's called can't do that. It's going to be so just bland. They're pulling stuff. It might not be factual. So I'm really tapping into who you are. And that's the difference. And yes, it's more costly, but I'm also responding and engaging with your audience using your voice as close as I possibly can, So it's different having a human. And I know everything is going to robots and AI, it seems like, but having a human, there's nothing like the human touch. And then we're always, every month, we're tweaking, like making sure that it's fitting who you are and your messaging. And then before I send out anything, you get to see and you get to say, okay, this is my voice. Sounds like something I would say, so that's the difference in hiring a human. Because
100%. And I wanted to reiterate, that's similar with me, like having someone who's watching you doing the workouts, who's with you live and making sure that you're consistent and accountable, right? As opposed to just looking at some basic, boring video of someone who doesn't even know you, right? I love how we have that authentic connection because we have worked with each other on both ends, right? You with me and me with you. I wanted to ask, this is an important question because I'm just realizing that you are an entrepreneur that is bridging the gap, right? You are working in the schools and you're also running your own business. And I have so many friends. I was actually gathering my friends the other day and I realized almost every single one of us, except I'm doing what I'm doing right now full time. I'm doing all Luke yoga, but like I have a lot of friends that are bridging, and a lot of my friends are doing that. They're bridging, like I work for the county and I have my own business. I'm working for a school, and then I was talking with one of my friends about how she was kind of hiding her business from her work because of course there's politics. I know I've heard stories of being made to quit because they find out you have your own hustle, or they get personally offended because you're wearing something sexy or whatever it is. I mean, you're just showing your body. So I'm curious to know, what are some great ways that have helped you and that you help your clients bridge that gap if they are straddling, like, A, being a doctor and B, also doing the side hustle? Like what advice you have?
That's a very tough line to deal with because, I'm always, even though I am showing shoulders and stuff, I always have in the back of my mind that any of my students could pop up. I'm talking about my high school students can pop up on my social media. So I always have that in the back of my mind. Doctors as well, anybody of, you're kind of held to this higher standard. I would definitely keep that in mind because I do not want you to lose your job. Okay. So I'm going to say that, but you can still be authentic now. You don't, of course, doctors know this, but I know some nurses have gotten in trouble for talking about, how disgusted they were with certain things that go on in the hospital room. So you got to be careful. You still have to be careful. You can't just be out there doing anything because you still have this professional thing too. uphold. But I think like they know they don't pay us enough and we got to do more. So they know that. So I have a hustle.
Right.
And I don't know, but in Augusta, I know they need teachers. So I don't think it's anywhere in my contract that I can't have a side hustle. And I do my job at school to the fullest. So that's all I can say about that. But yeah, definitely, yes, be authentic, but you do have to be conscious of what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're wearing, because you never know who might show up on your social media. So you can still be sexy without having everything out. You gotta be careful.
And yeah, absolutely. I 100% support that. In all cases, of course, make sure that you keep your job, and B, that you're safe, right? It's not like I get a lot of people DMing me all the time about, I share my coming out story, right? I have people who DM me from countries where it's punishable by death, where they can't come out, right? But they love silently watching what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, all the more reason to be me, okay? But I wanted to just touch more about that whole, like, any other words of wisdom that you have for people out there that are getting themselves out there visible that we haven't covered today?
I think, let me see. If you are uncomfortable with being out there, I can almost guarantee if you keep at it, that's like stepping out of your comfort zone. You keep showing up on social media. You keep posting the videos, make them short, be comfortable. There are ways to post videos without showing your face. You could do voiceovers. You can record the scenery and then just do a voiceover. Just keep showing up, and then it's going to start feeling like second nature to you. That's like my biggest thing. And then you need to find a way to become accountable. I don't know what that is for other people. I don't know if that's having a partner that's like, did you do your videos for the week, batching them on one day, whatever it is, or if that's having a coach that's like making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But some people start off and then they kind of slack off. So you want to make sure that you are actually being consistent. And that's like one of the hardest things, is being consistent. But if you stay at it, you can do it. Like, think of how many things where you could be if you were consistent with something you just quit on. Just keep being consistent.
I love that. Consistency is key to success. And another thing is that I'm curious for people out there that have gotten used to, and I feel like sometimes this happens with educators, maybe even doctors. We're used to kind of doing everything to the midline, like making everyone happy. In social media, you'll notice that when you are really real and out there and you disagree, even political, even what this divisive, you'll notice people will click on it. And I'm curious to know, like, how when you work with your clients, how do you bridge that gap and getting them to be real and raw and out there?
Yes, I talk about, sometimes you have to be polarizing. That's the thing that really is going to get people to say, oh, what's she talking about? Let me find out more. So sometimes you have to be polarizing. You have to say what you believe in that nobody else wants to say. You have to say, look, girl, you need to do better. Or look, sir, you're not doing this. It's time to move. It's time to move your body. It's time to do this. Like, you just have to be real and say the things that no one wants to hear, but they know they need to hear. And so we work on that. We work on telling people, hey, you get to make these decisions. So I just have them, what do you want? What do you want for your clients? And let's say that, let's make it, real for them. So.
Wonderful. And I just wanted to go back to what you mentioned earlier when we were talking about mindset, and you were like, Luke, it was working with you. And I wanted to ask more about that experience. So Valarie was in the program last year, in the 90-day program with coaching program with Kelly Snyder. And we had another person signed on, and we went really deep into healing and wellness and attracting love and success to your life through the body and the mind. I just wanted to hear more authentically about your experience so other people can hear more about that, as mindset is key to your success, as you were mentioning.
Yes, I mean, I learned so many things in all of our sessions, breathing exercises, which I go through. I have anxiety, so those really help me when my mind is spiraling out of control. We did journal dumping, like just dumping out all those things in your head, all that noise, even letting out anger. I remember one day we were punching pillows and all of that. The hypnosis was really like kind of, it was new for me, and I love it. I absolutely loved it. And like, I hope you put out like a whole ton of hypnosis. You probably do. Let me know. But just, I loved it because it's a way for me to kind of still do the work, but just kind of lay and just, kind of listen to you helping me get to this place of whatever we're working on, whether it's self-love or whatever the topic may be. So that was just amazing. And to have a group, and I felt like during that time I was going through difficult things, and it was just so nice to see y'all every week. Like, it was just perfect timing, a perfect decision. And I just loved working with you. You and Kelly were the right coaches for me. I can't work with everyone. I get kind of, I don't know, y'all were just perfect. Just encouraging and vibrant and showing up. And I just absolutely loved working with y'all. It was so worth it.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. It means the world. And shout out to you, Kelly Snyder, if you're watching, for your impact too. And I received that. Thank you, Valarie. And then, of course, people out there that if you're interested in dipping your toe, we are going to be having a boot camp coming up. I'm going to be announcing more about that. It'll be at the end of this month. So keep your eyes peeled. Last but not least, Valarie, I just want to hear for people that are vibing with you and they're like, I really want to learn more. I want to follow Valarie, as I recommend all y'all follow Valarie. She has got such positive vibes. Love your energy. Where can they find you?
On Instagram, you can find me at Valarie Strategist. And you can follow me also on Facebook at Valarie S. Thomas. Yep. And again, if you wanted to book a 15-minute session to find out, if you want to work with me or how we can work together, you could go to bit.ly slash no .com, excuse me. No. Yep, I was right. bit.ly/book with Val, all lowercase.
Definitely, yes. And I'll put that in the description of today's podcast. Number 2, I love to end my podcast with some words of wisdom to everyone listening. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice. Stop people pleasing, because the people you're pleasing, once they find out that you've been dishonest, because you are being dishonest, because you're just trying to be who they want you to be, they're not going to be pleased. So take care of yourself, and the right people, be who you are, and the right people are going to come to you.
Wonderful. Number 2, what's the worst advice you received?
The worst advice is just all the things I was told I needed to be a successful business owner. Like, you need you need a website that's not from Squarespace. You can't do Squarespace. You can't do this and that. Like, you need to buy all this expensive equipment. And no, you don't. You don't. You need to start where you are. And buying stuff makes you feel like a business owner, like, ooh. But it's deeper than that. It's being consistent, because that equipment is not going to make you be consistent. So you don't have to buy all the things.
Yes, 100% agree. And if your former self, Valarie, were listening to this podcast and maybe she or they or him are out there in a different form, last but not least, what advice would you give them?
Don't be afraid to walk away from things that don't serve you. You are going to be just fine when you do it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Valarie. Definitely follow Valarie. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I just love you, Luke. I love you, and congratulations for all of your success. You are the epitome of consistency. You are the epitome of going out there and doing what you say you're going to do. And I draw inspo from that all the time. Whenever I feel like, oh my goodness, this business thing is so hard, I look at you and I look at how hard you work, and I see the fruits of your labor. So I love it for you.
Thank you. Love you so much, Valarie. And I wanted to reiterate part of the reason why I post weekly yoga videos is because Valarie and I actually met, and Valarie told me during our session, you better post at least one video a week. And little by little by little, my videos have been getting big. So I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you afterwards, it's just been going, it's been going so good. But yeah, and I can tell everyone, publicly, like things are going so good because I didn't do it alone. So I just wanted to emphasize that all y'all like meet up with Valarie, work with me, work with someone that, like you were saying, that you vibe with, that really understands you and gets you, right? And I just wanted to send everyone out there good vibes for your Tuesday and everyone in the future that's listening to the replay. And if you enjoyed today's podcast, I would love to hear your review us below and connect with us online, and have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and write any questions in social media in the comments and we will respond to you. Have an amazing week. Thank you everyone so much. Bye-bye.